Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a pretty interesting video I want to share with you guys. On my last video, I did a first impressions on the Guerlain Meteorites Pearl Dust Palette, and I had somebody mention that it reminded them of the Hourglass Trio palette. So since I was already thinking about applying both of those palettes on my face to see if I can detect a difference, it occurred to me that I had other products that were very similar to each other, and I was just curious to see if I can spot the difference on those once applied onto the face. So this is not at all a dupes video. I want to make that very loud and clear. The products that I'm using they have some sort of similarity to them, but they are still quite different from each other. I'm sure you guys saw my thumbnail what products I'm using. So really this video is just for me to see them side by side, see how similar or differently they apply and they work onto the skin and they look on me regarding my skin tone, my skin type. So with that being said, I do have a combo skin type. I get really oily on the T-zone, but my cheeks and my chin get really dry. So kind of taking that into consideration amongst other things, I wanted to see how these products perform side by side, and if I had to choose, like if for some crazy random reason I had to choose between one or the other, which one would I pick? So a lot of these are new releases and most of them are new to my collection. So it's not a full face of makeup, but everything I do have on my face will be listed in the description box below in case anybody is interested. So I hope that was clear enough for you guys. I hope I was able to explain my idea of this video well enough. If you guys have any other products that you're curious about that I'm having in my collection, I'll be happy to do a similar video to this in the near future. Now before I get started, I do want to ask, if you're new to my channel, hello, I am Suzana and I love everything about makeup. If you love makeup as well, then we have that in common, and that's all really my channel is about. So why don't you hit that subscribe button and continue watching. Alright, so I don't have any eyeshadows that I want to try against one another, so we're gonna skip that part. That's why I already did my eyeshadow, and let's go straight into the base. So today I'm going to use the Ilia Super Serum Skin Tint. This has an SPF of 40 and I use the shade 9, which is Paloma. And on the other side of my face, we're gonna go in with this Giorgio Armani Neo Nude True to Skin Natural Glow Foundation. So the only similarity with these two really is that they are both light coverage and they both have a glowy finish to them. This one, the Giorgio Armani, is a foundation. The Ilia is a skin tint. So obviously the formula is going to be different. All right, so here I have both of the foundations. As you can see, the Giorgio Armani is much more thicker, whereas the Ilia is a runny liquid. The directions on both of these foundations is to use them with your hands. I've found that I do not like to use the Giorgio Armani with my hands. I don't like how this feels, so I'm going to use a brush for both of them. So luckily I do have two of the same foundation brushes. These are from It Cosmetics. So I'm going to start off with the Ilia just because that started kind of running, and I'm going to apply this on the right side of my face. Now this one does appear a lot lighter at first, and then it starts kind of morphing into your skin tone once fully applied. And we're just going to do one layer of each and see where we're at. And then on the other side, we're going to do the Giorgio Armani. So you can see a pretty significant difference on each side. The Ilia, because it is a skin tint, isn't going to provide as much coverage as an actual foundation, even if it is light coverage. So although they are both a light coverage, the Giorgio Armani is going to give more coverage than the skin tint one, because it's an actual foundation. Now, they still both feel very lightweight on the skin, but I will say that although they're both marketed to have a glowy, radiant finish, the Ilia side I feel like does look a little bit more glowy, and of course it looks more natural because it is a serum coverage. So I'm gonna go ahead and just add a little bit more of the Ilia just to try to even things out. I do have some more of that Giorgio Armani, Actually, let me go back to that Giorgio Armani one real quick and just add where I need more coverage. Now this one does look a little bit more makeup-y, but it still looks very light on the skin. Overall though, I like how the Ilia wears more throughout the day, but that has a lot to do again with the actual coverage that it is. Because it's so lightweight, it starts to kind of fade away with a lot of respect, because it doesn't show patchiness. It doesn't show any type of transferring. Whereas obviously one that would give more coverage, once that starts to fade away, you can start seeing areas where you're missing a little bit more of the foundation. So as far as longevity goes, with both, I do have to go in and blot throughout the day because my T-zone does get oily, but I still do enjoy the Ilia more. However, both of these are pretty nice. So here I'm just gonna go in with the second layer of the Ilia. And like you see, like it is very dewy on this side. So I don't have a concealer nor setting powder to compare with any other products. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick. I'll probably finish my eye makeup and then we'll be right back. Alright, so now I have two mascaras I really want to battle against one another. They're both cruelty-free brands, and they have a formula that helps lengthen your lashes. Now, I use a serum every night. It's the Grande Lash, and I swear by it. I feel like it's really done a great job at lengthening and thickening my eyelashes. But you know, it never hurts to use a mascara that's also going to help with that. But you do have to use these religiously. Now, both of these are new to my collection, but they're not like new to the makeup world. But still, I wanted to see them side by side and see if one works better than the other. So on the left side, I'm going to use the Chantecaille mascara. It is called, I can't make out that second word. It's Faux something. Longest Lash Mascara. And then the other one is from Ilia, and this is the Limitless Lash Mascara. This one I've really been loving, and they're both in black. So let's go ahead and apply the Chantecaille on the left side. And the Chantecaille has like that typical spoolie shape. And I think this one has more of a wet formula. We'll hit those bottom lashes too. Then on the right side, I'm going to use the Ilia. Now the Ilia spoolie has more of a technique to it. So one end, I believe in this case it's the bottom end, the brush head on the bottom side has smaller bristles to them, whereas on the top side you see that they're a little bit more separated and longer. So we're going to use the short side first, and this is going to really coat the lashes and start lifting them. And then the long side helps separate the lashes. And then I like to use the short side for the bottom lashes. Okay, I got a little bit of mascara on the bottom lash line there, so I'm gonna have to clean that out in a little bit. But so far, these two look very similar. Maybe the right side looks like they look a little bit more separated, and it has to do with those long bristles on this Ilia mascara. But other than that, they look very similar. However, the difference in price of these two is significant. So if you're thinking about maybe buying one versus the other, I would just go with the Ilia one, honestly. I mean, they're both great, but yeah, for the price, I would definitely go for the Ilia one because the Chantecaille is ridiculously expensive, especially for just a mascara. I mean, to me, mascaras are very important. I mean, I obviously care a lot for my eyelashes, but the price of this is just redonkulous. I picked it up at 25% off and it still hurt. It hurt me very much to make that purchase, but I had been wanting to try it out, so I figured that was the perfect time to do so. Alright, so we'll do the brows later. I'm just dreading that part, so we're just gonna save it till later. Let's go ahead and finish the face. So for highlighter, and this is actually what gave me the whole idea for this video, I'm going to use the Guerlain Meteorites Pearl Dust Palette, and this is the one that I just recently reviewed. This is really new, it just released. I did a swatch comparison on my Instagram stories to see what the difference is on both of them. And although they're similar, I feel like there is quite a difference. This is the Hourglass one. It's called the Ambient Metallic Strobe Lighting Palette. Actually, let me show you guys side by side how these look. Well, that Guerlain one is... I enjoy the scent, but man, it is strong. So here they are side by side. I'll go ahead and swatch all of the colors because we're just going to swirl all of these together and apply them. I feel like especially the Guerlain one really looks a lot better with all of the shades mixed together rather than applying them individually. I wasn't a huge fan of them individually, but together they looked a lot better. So I kind of did it reverse here. So the right side is the Hourglass, and then the left side here is the Guerlain. As you can see, the Hourglass is still a lot more stark actually, and the Guerlain has a little bit more pigment to it. It seems like it's, although it feels very buttery to the touch, it is a thicker formula. It's more opaque than the Hourglass. So we'll see if on the face it looks any different. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Guerlain, and like I said, we're going to swirl all of the shades together here. And I'll apply this on the right side of the face. And it gives this really beautiful glow. I picked up more, not that I needed to, but I really enjoy how this looks a lot. I cannot say though enough about the scent being extremely, extremely strong. Just because if you guys are sensitive and you get headaches to fragrance makeup, this may give you a headache. So that's that one. And then I'm going to use the same brush. Let me just clean it off here. And we're going to do the same thing with the Hourglass one. I'm going to swirl all of the shades together. This Hourglass one has just been a favorite of mine since it was first released a few years ago. And I just pulled it out when it was re-released recently, and I cannot stop using this highlighter. I absolutely love it. And it's very metallic-y, which surprises me at how much I enjoy using this frequently, because usually highlighters like this I only pull out for like special occasions or for a night out. You know, just not so much on a regular day, but I just can't get enough of this one. So that's the Hourglass. And then here is the Guerlain side. So similar, but still not the same. The Guerlain, I feel like it's not as intense as the Hourglass, but I do think that the Guerlain one is going to work for a variety of skin tones, whereas the Hourglass maybe up to a medium, maybe. So yeah, and it's funny because initially I had thought that this was only going to work for people with lighter skin tones, but as you can see, I was wrong. They are both really, really pretty, but I definitely prefer the Hourglass side. Alright, so as far as bronzers, I've only shown one of these on my channel. The other one, I just got it in yesterday, and as I was playing with this, it kind of reminded me of this Clinique one. So on the right side, we're going to use the Clinique Powder Pop Flower Bronzer, and on the left side, this new bronzer from Estee Lauder. It's called the Bronze Goddess. It is a matte and glow bronzing trio. So here's a close-up of the Clinique and then the Estee Lauder. So when you see them on the pan here, I think that you can really tell that the Clinique one has a pretty intense red tone to it, whereas you get a little bit of that from the Estee Lauder palette. But when I applied the Estee Lauder palette yesterday, I felt like it looked quite red toned on me. So I want to see how these look side by side. I typically am not a fan of bronzers that have a red hue to them. I just feel like, I don't know, I mean, they're just not my favorites. And I think I figured out that when I do use a bronzer with a red tone to it, that I don't need a blush because it's a little bit too much for my face. I do have a lot of redness that ends up coming through throughout the day. And so I feel like it doesn't do me a favor when I use bronzers in this shade. But if I do want to use some, and since I do have some in my collection and I should use them, I should steer clear from blushes. We're not going to do that today though, because I do have some blushes I want to show you guys, but I'm just saying. So let me just go ahead and do a swatch of both of these. So let's do the what is this called again? The Estee Lauder one on the left side of my hand, and then with another finger. Now the Estee Lauder one is more of a powder. It's a very soft powder one, whereas the Clinique has more of that baked gelée formula. Oh my gosh, and look at that. And swatching them side by side, the Estee Lauder actually looks a little bit more red than the Clinique. I feel like the Clinique is kind of giving off more of an orangey hue to it. So I'm going to use this old brush I have from MAC. This is the 140S. I've had this one for years. Picking up the Clinique side, or the Clinique bronzer for my right side. And I do love the formula of this. I like how this blends on. It's very pigmented, but it's also very easy to just blend in and work into the skin quite effortlessly. So I enjoy this one. Just the shade is not really my style, but I do think it's really a pretty bronzer. If you like red tone bronzers, these are nice. And I think they're also available now at Ulta. All right, so same brush, let me wipe it off here. So same brush, and let's go into this Estee Lauder one. This one's a lot more pigmented and it looks a lot more red on my skin tone, but it's pretty. I think if you have like a medium tan to tan skin tone, this shade will probably look really, really nice on you. I actually like how it looks on me as well, but it is a little bit red. So what do you guys think? I mean, I think it looks nice. It's just not, again, it's just not my preference. I would choose the Clinique side, just because it's a little bit more subtle, and for my skin tone I think it looks a little bit better on me than the Estee Lauder one does. So yeah, definitely the Clinique. Alright, so as far as blushes, this one is just more the similarity of the type of blushes that they are, not so much anything else. So I mean, I'm just doing this video for fun and just kind of to compare and see. So on my right side, I'm going to demo the new Fenty Beauty, what are these called? The Cheeks Out Cream Blushes. I have the shade Rosé Latte, and I think this is the darkest one released in the collection. They released like 12 shades, perhaps even more. So I picked up 2 of them, but today I want to play with this one. I have already used it, as you can see. It's super dirty there. And then on the left side of my face, I want to use this one from Tower Beauty, and this one's Beach Please. So I am very much aware that side by side, these do not look to be the same shades. I mean, they're not going to be. I'll go ahead and swatch them for you guys. But these are the closest ones that I had, and I wanted to see how they look together. So let's just go ahead and swatch here. And then this is the Fenty one. The Fenty ones are a lot more sheer, which I would have thought the opposite. So the Tower Blush, which is this one here, has a balmy formula to it, whereas the Fenty one is just a cream blush. And actually, now that I think about it, the Tower 28, this one's new to me, but I think it's been out for a while as well. But I just got it during the last Sephora sale event, so yeah, I don't know, I guess that's why I was thinking they're new, but it's just a new brand to me, which by the way, I've bought a lot from that brand already. All right, let's go in with the Fenty Rosé Latte Cheek Out Cream Blush, and I have 2 of the same brushes as well. Since these are cream products, I don't want to just wipe and use another product. I feel like it's easier to do that with powder. So I'm trying to use brushes that I do have duplicates of, and this is the Sephora number 56 brush. And I picked up about that much there, and we'll start applying it on this side. And because this is quite dark, I want to definitely make sure I start back here and then bring it towards the apples of my cheeks. Oh, and that's actually quite pigmented. Maybe I picked up too much. Okay, let me see with my fingers, try to kind of work it into my skin a little better there. I feel like it's looking a little bit patchy here, but it could be the fact that I've already powdered and now I'm here using cream products. I mean, they're still blending pretty well, but there is some patchiness going on. Okay, I'm picking up my other clean brush here, tapping into the Tower 28. I'm gonna go with my fingers. I'm picking up too much with these brushes. I need to be more careful. I just love these Tower 28 ones. I love these blushes. Like the Fenty one is pretty too. I mean, right now it does look patchy. I only have myself to blame because of the powder that I've already placed. I didn't think about it. So that's more user error. So the Tower 28 does apply really nicely, even over powder. It really doesn't matter. And I mean, I'm just head over heels for these blushes. The other ones I have are absolutely beautiful as well. They're just very bright in color, so that's why I didn't want to use these. But they're amazing, amazing. So I definitely prefer the Tower 28 side more. It blends a lot easier, really good pigment right off the bat. You can, of course, add more if you really like blush, which, hey, you do you, because I really like blush as well. And as you can see, I get carried away real easily with it. But at the same time, blush is the first thing to start fading away. So that's why I don't get too concerned when I go a little bit overboard. Just adding some here on the bridge of my nose. So remember guys, I'm not trying to do a dupes video here. This is just because there's some type of similarity. I wanted to see them side by side. And seeing both blushes side by side, I definitely prefer the Tower 28. I like the pigment a lot more. I love the formula more. I like how it blends and just works into the skin and the finish of it a lot more than the Fenty side one. Okay, so for the brows, real quickly, I'm not gonna do too much with them. I want to use these side by side. So I have the Patrick Ta brow wax and I have the tinted one, which I'm just gonna tell you guys right now, I really tried to love this, and if you guys watch my first try on haul from this last Sephora sale, you saw that I really tried to like this brow wax from Patrick Ta. But I don't like it at all. The wax completely fell out, and I think because we have to wet this to activate it before we start using it, it started to shrink up, and so now even if I wanted to glue it back in, there's gonna be this huge gap right here. So I'm just not happy with this product at all. I don't even like how my brows come out with it. I know a lot of it has to do with the fact that I just don't know how to use this, because I have seen so many people use this and their eyebrows come out so beautiful, like I wish mine came out. So I understand it's more me and this product, but I can't get it to work on myself. So we're gonna use that, and then I'm also gonna use the soap brows, this right here. And this is literally just soap. It's clear soap, but you can use any clear soap to get this technique that I'm trying to do, which is like the feathery brows. So this one I don't like. I have to be super careful with how much I apply. Otherwise, my brows end up looking white, like end up having like this white cast over them, and it's just not flattering. But I find that the same thing happens, I'm just gonna pick up the darn wax from here. I find that the same thing happens with the Patrick Ta one. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use both of these. I'll use the Patrick Ta on the left side, the soap brows on the right, but I'm gonna fast forward through this because I can't deal with these. Really, I just can't deal with these. brows are done. And okay, so I don't want to be too unfair. I know the brow on my right side is a lot more attractive than the one on my left side. This one is just, I don't know, they're growing out very awkwardly. I'm just gonna pick the soap brows over the Patrick Ta just because everything about the Patrick Ta has me really annoyed. Just the fact that the wax is completely detached from the compact. And I also bought the tinted one because I was hoping it would provide some kind of tint so I don't have to go in with another product to fill in the sparse areas, but it doesn't do that. And I just have to be careful with how much of this I apply, as well as the soap brows. So I just think this one gives me a lot more trouble than the soap brows does. With this one, I mean, I still have to practice with them because you get a lot more product in here. Here is 0.88 ounces, whereas the shaping wax is 0.17 ounces. So yeah, you get a lot more with this one. So this will be the winner. Okay, so I don't have anything for my lips, but I do want to use both of these together. When I mentioned the MAC and Selena lipstick, the Inolvidable shade, this one has a frost finish to it, and it's got like micro glitters as well. I immediately thought of the Natasha Denona one, and I showed it to you guys. The, let's see, Lipforia Glass and Balm Gloss in the shade Duochrome Coral. And the only similarity with these is like the shade and the fact that they're both like very reflective. I want to use these together, so that's what I'm going to do right now. Alright guys, so here's the final look. I've got to say I'm pretty surprised with the fact that my face doesn't look too crazy because I wasn't trying to do any type of dupes. I just wanted to see how these look side by side. I thought I was going to have to wash my face after I filmed this video, but I think it actually turned out pretty decent. Alright guys, that's it as far as today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, please make sure to give me a thumbs up. It really does help me out a lot. And if you have not yet subscribed, do not forget to do so you do not miss out on any of my future videos. Thank you guys so much for spending some time with me today. Until next time.